Okay, everything showed up right. All right, so welcome to the first session of our homebrewed world for our 5e campaign. There's not much that's currently known about this world or the people within it, but soon enough, much will be revealed through the perspectives of 5 very unique individuals who can be seen right on your screen. All we know right now is that there's war coming to the kingdoms of man, which begins at the footsteps of the human kingdom of Madala. The year is 676 AM, where AM indicates the age of man. The age of man directly followed AD, which was the age of dragons. The last dragon sighting was 677 years ago, so 1 year before the dawning of the age of man, and they have been considered extinct ever since. Some even question at this point whether they really existed at all, or if it was just something used to cause mass hysteria. We're currently observing the world through a microscope, zoomed in on one particular site. This site is at the outskirts of the kingdom of Madala, where preparations for battle are underway. A large grouping of goblinkin have made their move out of the mountains and appear if they will attack in the waking hours of the morning. Concern has been expressed by the upper leadership of the humans, especially in the military, as goblinkin have never banded together as organized as this before, and they fear external influences involved. This group of 5 adventurers we now meet have been tasked with taking out any enemy spellcasters they may see to help ease the passage of battle. With Goblinkin, shaman are to be expected. So now, we meet the players. We have Radix, who is listed as John Barber in Skype, playing, I believe you would pronounce that Taran Nilo. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. A high elf wizard who was formerly in the military, is retired, and a current resident of Madala. We have Scott playing, let me pull up your name because I forgot it already, Enzo Vassos, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, Enzo Vassos, who is a human fighter, is currently in the military, serving in Madala, is a mid-ranking officer, and has been tasked with leading this small force. We have Endis playing, let me pull open your sheet, Gideon Walker, who is a human, and not much else has been revealed about him yet. All that you are aware of is that his resolve is very clear on his face. You don't know his intentions, but it's very obvious that he is there with a purpose. We have Arlie playing Angry Allah, a drow elf, and we don't know anything else about her yet. Just that is her name, and that she is very clearly a drow. It'd be difficult to hide that. But no other information about her has been made aware to any of you. And we also have Lashara playing... Did you ever come up with a name?
It's kind of fucking important.
Playing Lyriala, an elf ranger.
What was it again?
Lyriala. She is an elf ranger. And I have to look at what I was allowed to reveal. Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
High elf, elf
a
ranger,
wood elf ranger.
and a drouth. Ooh.
A wood elf ranger. And she is here to avenge her village being sacked by a large group of organized goblinkin. So she has very much purpose to be here. And back to there.
And you said ranger, not rogue?
Correct, ranger.
Okay. Just making sure I heard it right.
Right. And now my narrative is going to take a back seat as we watch the world unfold before us, beginning at a simple campfire. All of the players were introduced in a short backstory that is unique to each of them. They've all been made aware of why they're here. Long story short is they are sitting around a campfire. Those basic introductions that I just gave you have been given out to each other, and they are here preparing for the morning fight.
DM, you said it was the morning, but are there seasons, or is there something we can assume with this?
This is
like,
fall.
Weather-wise? Okay.
Yeah, it's just a typical cool fall. The Kingdom of Madala is situated with mountains on one side, which are where the Goblinkin are organized out of, an ocean roughly probably 50 miles to the east, and forest to the south, which would be where the Wood Elf originated from, was to the forest to the south. So it's kind of like a Mediterranean-type climate in the fall.
Okay.
Okay?
I got you.
And I open the floor to the players who are sitting around a campfire.
We've already, been introduced to each other?
Everything I just said is what introductions you've given. So you've given only your name. Scott's given his name, the fact that he's military, and that he's been tasked with leading this group, etc., etc. So you can feel free to obviously ask each other questions that go beyond that, or whatever else it may be, but this is just an open discussion at the start of the campaign. You guys can discuss anything you want or not discuss anything you don't want. It's completely and totally up to you guys. It's in your hands.
I'll take a quick draw off of my pipe and just small shudder of the morning crisp air as the dew around me is kind of melting from the frost from the cold morning. It's just, I hate this point, the calm before the storm. I don't miss this.
There are worse things than the calm before the storm, believe me.
Yes, the storm.
As you guys are talking, you'll notice my character is just kind of like looking intently, like she's trying to figure out exactly, like, make sense of what's going on. Like, she doesn't quite understand the interactions. But she's just like studying you almost. It's like,
Okay. I'll glance over to the human and the heavier equipment. So, so what's the plan? Obviously, since you're in command, you have an idea of what's going to happen.
Oh well, I'd love to be the DM right now.
I mean, you were given your task in your background story, so you are aware exactly of what the task is.
Yeah.
So
is that email or is that what you just said?
that was
The
in
email.
the email where I detailed your introduction into the story, and it very explicitly laid out what your task is.
Son of a bitch.
We only had 3 months to prepare, Scott.
Yeah, but I only sent out the backstories like a week and a half ago, so that might be on me.
I know. I'm also giving shit for the sake of giving shit.
I'll allow it.
it was
All
back
right,
on
no,
September
it's
10th.
good. I remember reading this. It's just I've had a few beers since then. That's all. All right. First off, let me get this right here. So is that Tehran Elo?
Nilo?
Tehran Nilo.
Yeah, Tehran Nilo.
Well, first off, Tehran Nilo, we're going to be
Captain.
breaking off. I'm sorry,
Yes, Captain. You can
Captain.
Yes, please.
In what area did you captain?
What do you mean, what area? I served in the military longer than most of you have been living.
Well, but you retired.
I'm sorry?
But it seems like you've retired. You've joined the civilians.
Yes, they put me to the side after, well, we'll just call it a blaze of glory, and decided it might be best if I just be better served enjoying the rest of my days after the things that we went through. Many of the generations before you came to be.
Is arguing about whose title's bigger really the best use of our time?
I'm just trying to see if he's even capable of being here right now, if he's just so hung up on enjoying the simple things in life.
Oh, argue what you will, but they put me here for a reason.
Fair enough. Anyway, we're going to split off from the main group. We're going to spearhead through, try to divert, and go after spellcasters and other arcane users and get rid of them so that everyone else doesn't have to deal with the shit that we're going to be dealing with.
I see. And do we have a timeline for that?
I believe morning sounds great. Well, I guess that would be tomorrow morning.
Oh. Okay.
I was gonna say, morning now?
Yeah, I had to realize that myself.
Okay. Well then, I'm assuming we are given everything that we need. I mean, this is out of character. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're given everything that we've been needed from whatever group we're a part of. They've given us rations, yada yada yada.
Right. You're just it's like a standard military grouping. You guys are considered a unit. So you're provided with rations the same as everyone else. You've got water, you've got food, you've got sharpening tools available for your weapons before the fight. Anything else. You're a part of the main camp, but you are a unit of 5 individuals who are basically
fucking team.
right. It's basically the A team. You're a group of 5 selected individuals to carry out this explicit task.
The best level 1 A team you've ever seen.
That's right. That's exactly.
I'm
right.
not the one with the mohawk. Calling that now.
We don't know what you are other than shifty.
Shifty.
Okay, sorry for that.
No problem.
It's okay.
I had
Out of
to
character
kinda-
stuff is totally welcome when it's important questions like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
As far as backstory goes, T, I don't have a timeline for when we're starting. Just to let you know.
There's not one.
All right, perfect.
All you know is that morning is what's supposed to happen.
Was that this morning or next morning?
Yes. No, it's tomorrow morning is when everything is supposed to happen.
As in war, supposed to
Alright,
happen.
So you say that, and you're like, well, tomorrow morning.
Yep.
And then, so then I sit there and I wave my hand a little bit and make a muttering. And let me tell you real quick. Hold on. Oi.
Hey. Hey, give us
Hey. Yeah, move me.
That mech keyboard, though.
Is that a 1976 typewriter?
Am I at the
No,
library?
it's
I'm
my
pretty sure I'm at the
mechanical
library.
keyboard.
Okay, go for it.
I do it. It's a cantrip, so.
Ah, cantrip. Gotcha.
And mine has cherry keys on it, so it's pretty much as loud as it can possibly be.
Right. Is that
Gabriel,
sufficient?
Are you... Oh. Are
Okay,
you guys
so
doing
you see
quiet
me
time?
wave my fingers and mutter a little bit, and I look like I'm concentrating for a second, and then I say, "Well, that's good. We're to be mostly clear, a little bit of clouds and fog in the morning and evenings, so it's a good time to do a thing."
Is that predicting the future? Or...
Weather patterns.
Ah, I see. And how is it that you do that?
Because I know things about nature.
I see.
Anything else we should know about you, Angriala? Like, are you prepared for tomorrow?
Yeah. Oh, so she answers and she goes, "Yeah," and then she's like, "Oh wait, yes, I am really prepared. I think we'll be good." Like she's very focused on like being careful about what she says and like how she interacts with you guys. All of a sudden, like she's like, "Oh wait," and then like she'll mutter a little bit. She's like, "People are so weird."
What else is going on around us? Like our camp?
Is that a question for me?
Yes.
Okay. What else going around the camp? General stuff that would happen in a military camp. There are people that are, boasting about their previous combat experience and why they're better prepared and why they're a better fighter, and all of the random ramblings you would hear. There are civilians, obviously, that are wandering around that have signed up as part of the volunteer militia that are boasting about how they think they're just as good as these soldiers are and they don't know why they get paid to fight. You can hear the sounds of axes on grindstones, all of the general noises that you would hear in a military camp preparing for imminent battle.
Okay, and one other question. Madala, what is the kind of size of that?
It's what I would consider a castle city state. It is a castle surrounded by a town, as you would see in medieval times, where the castle is the center focal point where all of the important stuff happens. Surrounding it is the town where the people who are not royals live, and outside is a wall that is in relative disarray. In terms of population, I would say probably 12 to 15,000. It's the largest human kingdom. If we were comparing it to Lord of the Rings, it would be the same as saying it was Helm's Deep area. You know, this is like the focal point because they sit at the base of the mountains. You know, this is like the first line of defense, which is why their military is so serious.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay.
Is there anything else anyone feels the need to discuss at this juncture?
Okay. No.
What are you wearing?
Wearing a Deadpool shirt that, in a way, says, "I will fuck you up and do it comically."
Fair enough. In character, I rummage through my pack, but very quickly pull out a skull of a goblin and put it down right in front of my feet by the fireplace, and say, "This is what we're here for. We're here to show them that we mean business. This is what I have done at 16 years old. This was my first. I expect all of you to have a similar story, or I don't know what you're doing at this campfire right now."
As you finish your sentence, you hear a horn blare off in the distance. The horn blaring in the distance is the warning horn. It is the prepare the defenses horn. You were expecting another day to prepare, but unfortunately, it seems that the goblins had other plans. The enemy invasion has begun. The sun was hardly rising at this point, and the movement was extraordinarily faster than the overseeing commanders could ever have anticipated.
I push myself up from my feet and say, "Thank God."
I grab the skull, throw it back in my pack, grab my halberd, and say, "Are you boys ready?" And ladies, too.
I take
Yes.
a long draw from my pipe and say, "Okay."
I stand up and go, "Let's go." Grab my staff.
Kind of mosey my, slowly get myself up, prestidigitation, the dirt off of my robe. So,
You do that, and as you do that, I just look at you really confused about you don't know what I'm confused about, but I'm very confused about what you just did. And if you look at me, you notice I have dirt various around me that
yeah.
I've never just confused.
And, I, knock the pipe weed out of my pipe and put it in my little satchel. Just, okay. And start, I walk past whoever towards the horn.
Are you done?
Oh, I already walked past you.
You can assume this was the look I was giving you the entire time.
Okay.
Has everyone gotten up and left? I'm actually still standing still.
Nope, I'm still there. You're the leader, so I'm waiting.
I've taken a few steps, but I'm obviously waiting for everybody else.
Alright. I'll turn and head towards the horn.
Did I follow?
As you make your way across the camp, there are numerous people who are clamoring and panicking, struggling to put on suits of armor, struggling to make sure that all of their gear is secure because they got lazy, expecting that there was still another day. So there's a lot of clamoring around, a lot of yelling, a lot of running. As you arrive to where the main forces are organized, you can see that there are literally swarms, hundreds and thousands of goblinkin pouring over the hillside. There are more than you ever even imagined existed. It's a gathering unlike any other group of goblinkin that's ever existed. The main squadrons are in the center of the battlefield. They are all heavily plated, armed with lances and pikes, short swords and long swords sheathed on their backs. They form defensive lines to absorb the initial brunt of the charge. The commander could be seen atop his steed that stood easily 18 hands high. He was positioning groups quickly and carefully, lining out the counterattack before the main fighting had even begun. It was almost as if he was conducting an orchestra. He gave the signal for your group to fan out to the right and lie in wait. You were to wait behind a group of mounted paladins, chargers that were meant to destroy ranks from the side quickly and with minimal friendly loss. You were to follow in their path and branch off to the hillside on the east, where you can already see totems being erected for shaman to call for power from their idyllic gods. And just so that everybody is aware, I know that I have said this probably to each and every one of you individually, but the way that I DM, especially on initial sessions, is almost like a narrative RPG. There are some things that are scripted, like this, obviously. I'm reading directly from a script. There are some speeches that are meant to happen and nothing's meant to interrupt them, stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't railroad. I don't point you in any specific direction, but when it comes time to it, there will be plenty of free roaming time. But I do a lot of orchestrated RP events. So don't feel like it's going to be railroading because I'm so directive with this. Consider this the opening scene in an RPG where you're very heavily guided as you learn the basis of the world.
Okay. I actually need 1 minute. I'm really sorry.
That's fine. Take your time.
Oh.
I know.
But yeah, I don't know why, but every time you said goblin, my brain just went Goblin King, Goblin King. I was like, God damn it, brain!
I kept on thinking of the Hobbit. It's like, oh no, the Goblet Cleaver.
Oh, that would be fun too. Oh, Jesus.